Whenever we imagine investing our hard-earned money, we usually picture investing in companies we heard or know something about. Sometimes we might invest in some hot new stock that is just freshly IPO'd and disrupting their industry, like Zoom, Uber, Lyft, Beyond Meat, and you get it. But have you ever thought of investing in disruptive and rapidly growing companies outside your country? My thought is, if you're already relying on your country for your livelihood when it comes to work and living, then why put all your investments into your own country when you can diversify into others? I'm aware many US companies have sales from overseas, but I've done research into a few Chinese stocks that are just absolutely killing it and dominating e-commerce, social media, and other industries that are rapidly growing and changing our world. And I want to share them in this video. So why China? Well, China's GDP is increasing above 6%, while the US is just 2% or less. GDP is all the goods and services a country produces, and it heavily impacts the earnings of companies and the stock market. So now you know why China as a country is a great place to invest. I'd appreciate an early thumbs up as it helps the YouTube algorithm. Without further ado, here is my top 3 Chinese stocks and what you need to know about them. No listing of the best Chinese growth stocks would be complete without Jack Ma's Alibaba Group. This is China's largest company by market cap with a valuation of more than $500 billion. Alibaba is kind of like eBay. It makes a massive amount of revenue from online commerce. But it has a diverse set of businesses, and they all have one thing in common. They're essential to the modern economy. It's actually worth noting that Alibaba's revenues actually grew during the 2008 meltdown and the Great Recession. Their website is very diverse and actually reminds me of Amazon's layout. They have everything from consumer electronics down to beauty and personal care. And I thought I should mention Alibaba Cloud is the largest cloud service provider in China, as well as one of the largest in the world. The worldwide public cloud service market is forecasted to grow at 17% in 2020 to a total $266 billion, up from $227 billion in 2019, according to Gartner Research. So it's safe to say cloud is becoming mainstream and being adopted at staggering rates throughout the whole world. The best part about cloud is it's a software as a service, and software is a high margin business with recurring revenue, so I wouldn't overlook this aspect of Alibaba. Now, the stock is nearing an all-time high, but I wouldn't call it expensive because it's beaten earnings in the past 4 quarters, with Q4, Christmas and holiday season, had an earnings beat from its expectations by a whopping $2.45 a share. That's pretty huge. The company is also active in digital payments and micro-lending, which is an ever-growing market for a growing country like China that has booming businesses that need funds, that need loans, and that need essentially micro-lending and financing for their businesses so they can keep going and increase their output. Number 2, if you had to choose one stock anywhere in the world to be the only stock you own for the next 20 years, Tencent Holdings and its TCEHY would be one of those, okay? One of the largest social media streaming, video, and video game companies in the world should be at least in the discussion, in my opinion. Chinese consumers are streaming video at an unprecedented rate, and they aren't going to play fewer mobile video games even during a Great Recession, okay? Their streaming and their demands for online, services are not gonna go down. And in fact, Tencent's social media and gaming revenues have continued to grow their business very steadily. But the explosive growth has to come from its investments in fintech and mobile payments, primarily via WeHan, I will put that up here, and WeChat apps. Ask yourself a very simple question. 5 years from now, do you expect to see more people paying with their phone or fewer people paying with their phone? Regardless of what happens over the coming months following this virus, what is likely to happen is this trend would continue to appear and be a very safe bet that people will continue to use their phones as mobile payment devices. And I don't see streaming going anywhere either at the point that we mentioned earlier. So Tencent's market cap is at $500 billion. It's just slightly smaller than that of Alibaba. It will be really interesting to see which of these top Chinese stocks joins the ranks of Apple, Amazon, and like the other trillion-dollar companies. And I really can see these companies joining the trillion-dollar club as well. Number 3, last but not least, not to be taken lightly by any means, at a market cap of 86 billion at the time of this making, is JD.com. They've risen 32% this month alone, and if you like Amazon's business model, you should like JD.com, which is essentially China's homegrown version of Amazon. JD.com boasts 32 million active users and sells virtually everything under the sun. Whether it's electronics, clothes, appliances, food, personal care, it doesn't matter. They have all that and much more. The reason I say it's similar to Amazon even more than Alibaba is JD.com is a pioneer in rapid delivery, offering next day and often same day shipping for many of its products. Earnings and revenues have been absolutely skyrocketing, as a lot of analysts have this one as a buy rating. But speaking of investing, if you want 2 free stocks, check out my free Webull link. The first stock you get is valued up to $250, and if you deposit $100, you will get a second stock valued up to $1,400. That's awesome, and you should take advantage. So that's 2 free stonks free to get you investing and closer to your retirement goals. If you want to see my live Monday stock option trades, feel free to check out my Patreon link. But either way, I hope you guys learn more about the Chinese market and my bullish opinion on it. I'll see you guys closer to the end of the week with a new video coming up soon. Thanks a lot. Boop, I put my hand up too early, didn't I?
Never see